Lexi DIY and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am so excited because this video is sponsored by Cricut and I absolutely love working with Cricut. I've worked with them a few times over on TikTok and I'm really excited to work with them for my first sponsored YouTube video, so thank you so much to Cricut. I'm going to be showing you guys some projects that I've already actually completed with my Cricut and one that is keeping me super organized in my office a little bit later in the video. But today we are doing my office renovation and I am so excited. I think this might be my favorite room of the entire house. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So this is just a little before we actually did anything in my office, and in a previous video we did take these bulky curtains down and give the room, you know, a clean and a fresh coat of white paint. But since then I basically just put this little shelf, a desk, and there's like a bunch of craft supplies like kind of laying everywhere, some miscellaneous art pieces that were just being stored in my office until they were ready to go up in, you know, another part of the house. And you'll see here in a minute like a bunch of our tools for renovation. So I'm just going ahead and clearing all of that out. I wanted to start with a fresh clean slate with really like nothing in here. And I did build these two IKEA shelves. Now they were super affordable. I'm gonna leave the name of them here on the screen, and I'll also leave a link in the description because I do get a lot of questions about these. They are such a great option if you're needing some storage shelves. And luckily for me, they fit literally perfectly with the desk that I already had, which is also from IKEA, but they discontinued it. And then I was deciding which art piece I wanted to go in between these desks or these shelves up above my desk, and I really love that crystal one I got from HomeGoods. And then you guys know I made this, but I usually use it for my YouTube backdrop, so although I thought it was really beautiful, I decided to go with the crystal one, and I just hung that up over my desk with a few nails, and it does look a little lopsided. Don't worry, I fixed it off camera. Now this table was actually way worse. I had kind of cleaned it off a little bit the week before I did this, but basically this is where we held all of our tools, all of our excess renovation materials, and it was just sitting in my office. I am so grateful to have a large office. I think it would be considered like your formal family room. That's why it's so large, because it's not really meant to be an office, but we already have our living room and we're not like formal living room type of people, so it was a better space to use for my office. And I did have these curtains up on some quick hangs that you just tap into the molding, and although that's great for ease and to get them up quickly, I wanted to hang them up higher because it definitely makes your room feel a lot bigger and it just makes the space feel more elevated. I'm really sorry that this footage is dark, but obviously it's like backlit against a window, so yeah. But I did get some lighter curtains. I initially went with the green ones, but I figured the lighter ones made it look a little bit more bright. And then I decided to do something crazy and I pulled everything out. I was like, while I have all this stuff out of my office, I'm gonna pull up the carpet. And you guys saw me actually do that video separately, but here's just a little clip. You guys have already seen, you know, the full in-depth one, and I'll also link it here in case you didn't get a chance. But yeah, basically I just decided that I was gonna pull up the carpet. We did know that there were hardwood floors under here, but we had no idea what the condition of the hardwood floors would be. So just to give like a brief little overview of what I did, I just cut it into sections and rolled it up and then taped it up so it was easier to get out. I did the same thing with the underlayment, and then I went back and took all the staples and stuff out and gave it a nice clean. And then since Dustin wasn't home and I wanted to move these without scratching the floor, I put them on a blanket and I just kind of pulled them in because I definitely couldn't lift them by myself. And so I just pulled both of those in and then started to reassemble the shelves. Like I said, these IKEA shelves, they were really, really easy to build. They only took me about 20 minutes each, and you know, super affordable, really a great size. And when, you know, I can't help thinking about moving because me and Dustin you know, move a lot with him being in the Navy, so I know that those are going to be easy to move. And then we brought in my desk, and I was really struggling because I had hurt my wrist when I was doing the garage, so you see my face like so mortified, and it's because my body is yelling at me. And then we actually moved this rug that was in our living room into this room, and it was a little bit bigger than I had anticipated because I was going to put it side to side this way, and that's how I would have preferred. But I didn't have another rug, and so this was the option to just put it long ways in the office, which I think is still great because it does cover a little bit more of the floor. And although I love these hardwood floors, we don't have the time or money to re-sand and stain them right now, so they just got a little clean and they do need a little bit more work. But yeah, so we just rolled that out and then we put the desk back on. I bought all of these awesome storage containers, and the reason that I bought clear storage containers is because I have really bad ADD, and if I can't see something, then I actually forget that I have it. It's like object permanence. It's a whole thing. And then I end up buying more, and I definitely don't want to do that. So it was super helpful to have these clear containers that I could see everything in. I know exactly what I have, and basically off camera, because this took me like a million hours, I sorted all of my craft supplies into these separate containers and just started arranging them on the shelf. And these containers are great. I do have them linked on my Amazon, but if you want to find them a little bit more affordably, then I would suggest checking your local Home Goods, TJ Maxx, or Marshalls, because that's actually where I found them. So big tip there, but if you want the exact ones, they are linked in the description. When I was thinking about placement with these containers on the shelf, I was thinking the stuff that I used more frequently would be at the bottom and the middle, and the stuff I didn't use as frequently at the top, so it was just, you know, more accessible to me for the stuff that I use all the time. And then for the other side, I started styling the shelf, which I love styling shelves. It's so fun with my favorite crystal and my 100,000 subscriber YouTube plaque, guys. I wanted to do this office video because I needed somewhere really great to put it because I'm just so proud of it. So thank you guys for making my dreams come true with that. And then I also put like the closest shelf to my desk, stuff that I use on the daily, like pens, markers, stuff to write you guys back if you write to my PO box, and my, you know, organizer and stuff like that. So yeah, and then I started styling the top of this now, and I almost fell off of that, but that Hot Mess House sign, you guys, I'm gonna actually link to it. I uploaded a YouTube short about this sign, and I actually made that with my Cricut, and it's made out of a old cabinet door from the Hot Mess House renovation kitchen. So I am so, like, it's one of my absolute favorite things, and I made it with my Cricut. I also used the same materials and did kind of the same thing that I'm about to show you for another project with my Cricut coming up here soon. I know that a lot of people always ask me about what you need for a Cricut project and how you do it, so I'm actually going to show you guys step by step. And these are those cute little storage containers that I was just telling you about with the labels on them, so that even though they're not see-through, I totally know what's inside. So let me walk you through how I made those, and here's everything that you're gonna need. Starting off, you're gonna need the Cricut Joy, and I love this Cricut because it's so compact, but it can really do just about anything. I actually take this with me when I travel sometimes, ask Dustin, so that I can DIY on the go. This is the little scraper tool, and you're gonna use this to make sure that there's no air bubbles and help you apply your design to your surface. Now, this is their weeding tool, and you're gonna use this to pick up any of the excess material or vinyl, paper, whatever you're using from your design. This is the Cricut Joy mat. Now, you don't actually necessarily need this because Cricut has some really cool smart materials that just feed directly in to the Cricut and don't require a mat, but I already had some of my favorite vinyl on hand from them. This is the True Brush Metal vinyl, and I've actually used this for so many projects, including my dishwasher that you guys saw. And then this is their transfer tape, and you use this to apply your design to whatever surface that you're working on. I'm gonna walk you exactly through this project, and it's basically how I do any project, so this could really be applied to so many different things. So I took my little piece of film off of my mat because the mat is sticky, and that is how it holds the material while your machine cuts it. So I just put my vinyl down and made sure there was no air bubbles. I went into Cricut Design Space, which is their free, really easy to use software, and I just uploaded my design and I resized it. And once I figured out what size I wanted it, I went ahead and told them that I was going to be cutting on the mat, and picked my material, and then I just loaded my mat into the Cricut, and it just made sure it had enough room to do the whole thing. And once it was loaded, I just hit go and it started cutting for me. So basically the Cricut does all of the work. It's really, really simple, and it's also really fun to watch your Cricut just cut something out. Like, it's so smart. I don't even know how it does it. Once the design was finished and I unloaded the mat, it's time to take your design off. So I actually have a really fun trick for preserving the stickiness of your mat. So I put my little film back on, and then I'm gonna flip over the mat and actually pull the mat away from my vinyl so that the vinyl doesn't curl up, and then boom, your little film just falls directly where it's supposed to be. You're not gonna get your mat dirty or stuck on anything. Then I'm using the weeding tool to pull away the excess from, you know, just anything I don't want on, like, to transfer onto my little bins, and just taking all of the little pieces out. I like to work from the corner, and I like to work slowly, especially when I'm using thin font like this. And then I just cut them all up and cut transfer tape to size, and I'm just using that scraper tool to make sure that it's adhered to the transfer tape, and then I'm peeling away the backing and applying them to the front of my design. Again, using my scraper tool and my fingers to make sure it's really good on there before I peel the transfer tape back off. And it's really that simple. You could do this for so many things, but they turned out so cute, you guys. Like, look at them. And even though they're not see-through now, I still know what's in them. Highly recommend labeling your storage containers because it's really, really helpful. Now on to some lighting. So oddly enough, my office was the only room in the house that didn't have any overhead lighting, and I only had this lamp, which I couldn't really leave just in the middle of everything. So I did get that plug-in little hanging light fixture from IKEA, but I end up changing it out and putting it up a little bit different of a way. And then I got these chairs from Target, which I'm absolutely obsessed with, these barrel chairs. Those are gonna be linked as well in the description. And I put up my little yarn art that I usually use, and it was a little off center. Don't worry, I fixed it once I watched the video back and realized, wow, that's really off center. And then I just marked the holes to drill for my little curtain holdbacks, I guess is what you would call them. It's basically just a little loop that holds your curtains back when you want the natural light to come in. So I did the same thing on the other side, again, just drilling the holes and then holding it up and just screwing it in. This is really great because since this window is so large, I have a lot of curtains, so just opening them side to side doesn't fully bring the light in because I have, you know, just so many curtains. And then I actually found this little paper towel holder at Target dollar section, and I just marked off with some painter's tape the holes that I would need to drill. I drilled them, and then I realized that I didn't have screws small enough, so I did screw some in, but they weren't small enough to fit the holes on the back, so I ended up having to go in just with some little nails, and it was super easy to hang up. And basically this is just to clean up any DIY project spills that I may have, which, trust me, they do happen a lot. So I really love this little blue rug, but it just wasn't quite big enough for the chairs. So I did put down this other rug and tried the chairs on that, and I wasn't really loving it. So I decided that I was going to layer the rugs, which I've seen other people do before and I wasn't quite sure, but I actually do think I like it. I like how it looks a lot more on camera than how it looks in person, because the rug is a little bit darker in person on the bottom, but I do think it looks really nice. So until I find another rug, I'm gonna keep this little setup. Now, I mentioned earlier in the video that I put up this a little bit differently because it did fall down with only using the command hooks. So basically I screwed the little hook that it came in with, and I did end up changing it out to a white. I just felt it looked a little bit more clean, but I don't know, I might do a DIY to like have a really fun one, so let me know what you guys think about that. And I also found a room divider at Marshall's. It's not perfect, but I'm not ready to put a door on this yet, so it'll keep the dogs out from getting into my DIY supplies. And then I actually made this table, and I am going to be sharing a video on exactly how I did this because it was super simple and really cost effective, and I just styled it behind my chairs, and then I started to kind of style the table using some plants, of course some crystals, and I also used some dried florals. But let me tell you guys, this office has really come together, and here are the before and afters. Of this video. I am so grateful to have been able to create my dream office, and I wouldn't do it without your guys' support. You guys have really made my dreams come true. I saved this video for when I hit 100,000 subscribers, so I would have somewhere to put my YouTube plaque, and I am just so grateful. I couldn't have done it without you guys, so thank you so much. And a special thank you to Cricut for sponsoring this video. I had so much fun working with you guys, and of course I always love my Cricut. I use it so much, from wedding DIYs to now home DIYs. I've been using it for a long time. So everything for those projects will be linked in the description box below, as well as some of the stuff that I actually have in my office. If I was able to find it, I tried to link it below just because I know I get a lot of questions, and maybe you see a piece that I use for my office that you want to use or would go perfect somewhere in your house. So all of that information will be in the description box below. If you haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel and that you ring that bell notification so you never miss when I upload next. And follow me on all my other social medias. They'll be linked here on the screen as well in the description box below. That's it for me today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!